Hello students, in today's session we will be studying about civics chapter 5 judiciary. So in this image you can see you might have seen in movies Goddess of Justice, Justicia, and with the help of this chapter we are going to study how judiciary work in our country, how the judicial system run in our country. This is the apex house in the field of justice, that is the Supreme Court, which is located at New Delhi, Mathura Road. First of all, introduction. Laws apply equally to all people. As we studied in previous lessons, that laws which made by the parliament and which are equal to all people. A certain set of fixed procedure need to be followed when law is violated, and these laws which made by the parliament are binding to follow everybody. But when these laws violated, then fixed procedure which run. To enforce this rule of law, we have a judicial system that consists of mechanisms of courts that a citizen can approach when a law is violated. And if any citizen or any group of community, when they realize that these laws are violated or those laws are not means in the society, those laws are not adhere to the constitution, then they can approach to the courts for the help, and then judicial system helps to those community or citizens if the law if the particular law is not adhere to the constitution. As an organ of government, the judiciary plays a crucial role in the functioning of India's democracy. As we know, India is one of the democratic country where the government has an organs like legislature, like judiciary, as well as executives. So in that, judiciary plays very much important role in the functioning of India's democracy. It can play this role only because it is independent, and this is one of the unique feature of our judiciary system, that our judiciary system is totally independent. It is totally independent than the other organs of the government. There is no interference in this judiciary matters about matters by the any politicians or any other government organs. Now, what is the role of judiciary? See, very important, these 3 points are there. Work of the judiciary is divided into the following. These three functions of the judiciary are very, very important. First, that is the dispute resolution. Dispute means we used to say quarrel or misunderstanding or their unhappy relationship between the community, between the people, or between the person to government. So if any problem arises, then resolution is to resolve those disputes. That work is done by judiciary. So judiciary, very important function, dispute resolution. Then second, judicial review. As we know that parliament made laws, and those laws if not adhere to the constitution, then the person or the community, they can approach to the courts, and then the judiciary can advise to the government, that is make some of the changes in the law or cancel that law. Then the third important function of this judiciary, that is upholding the law and enforcing fundamental rights. There are the many laws or fundamental rights which are included in the constitution, and those laws if violated, as well as if fundamental rights were not helped to the person, then judiciary help to the government as well as to the community or to the person for upholding the law. Now, step by step we will see dispute resolution. The judicial system provides a mechanism for resolving disputes between citizens, between two people or between two citizens. If any disputes takes place, then that resolution, then between citizens and the government, sometimes between citizens and the government disputes occur, as well as sometimes disputes between two states or two state governments, and between the center and the state government takes place, and that time this dispute resolution made by the judiciary. Judicial review. Judiciary has the power to strike down particular law passed by the parliament. To strike down the law, make some changes, or to cancel the law if it believes that these are a violation of basic structure of the constitution. If judiciary found that any law which was passed by the parliament, but that law not adhere or not adhere to the constitution, or which believes that if violation of the basic structure of the constitution, that time judiciary has the power to strike down that particular law, cancel, or some of the changes there should be in that law. So this is called judicial review. Judicial review, very important point. That is, if the law which is not adhere to the constitution, then that law judiciary has the power to strike down. The third important function of the judiciary, that is upholding the law and enforcing fundamental rights. As we studied in 7th standard, that Paschim Banga Khed Mazdoor Sangh, one of the person who fell from the running train, then many hospitals, when that person taken to the hospitals, many hospitals refused to admit. Hakim Sheikh, the name of the person, and what happened then, many government hospitals when refused, then Hakim Sheikh, he was taken to the private hospitals, where private hospital treated him well, but Hakim Sheikh had to pay lot. Then what happened, Paschim Banga Khed Mazdoor Sangh group of the union, they filed the complaint against the Paschim Bengal states. And then what happened, when the court, high court, they realized that there was, the fundamental rights, the act was against the fundamental rights, right to life, right to health, right to food, and this was the violation, because Hakim Sheikh, he was also has right to health or right to life, but this law was violated. Then High Court given the justice against the state government, and then they said that is there should be compensation to Hakim Sheikh. So in that manner, the courts or the judiciary system enforce fundamental rights to any individual. See here, every citizen of India can approach the Supreme Court or the High Court if they believe that their fundamental rights have been violated. If any person realize that if their fundamental rights, many fundamental rights are there, Article 21, 22 consists of fundamental rights, and according to those fundamental rights, person or any citizen, they get rights. But if those rights being violated by the state government or by the community, then they can approach to the Supreme Courts or High Court. So this is what about very important function of the judiciary, that upholding the law and enforcing fundamental rights. Now, one of the unique characteristics of our judiciary system, that our Indian judiciary system, it is an independent judiciary. So what is this independent judiciary? See, other branches of government, the legislature and the executive. Government has three important branches: legislature, executive and judiciary. But the legislature and the executive cannot interfere in the work of judiciary. These legislature bodies as well as executive bodies, they cannot interfere in the work of judiciary. Means in the judiciary, there are various courts, various forms of their these in this judicial system, but the but this legislature and executive, they cannot interfere in any matter. Somehow they can interfere, but not in the work of the judiciary. The courts are not under the government and do not act on their behalf. The courts are not under the government. Government, see, many political parties, they form the government after winning the representatives. But these representatives cannot interfere in the work of judicial system. Independence of the judiciary allows the court to play a central role in ensuring that there is no misuse of power by the legislature and the executive. See here, in any members in the legislature as well as in the executive, if they want to misuse their power, then what will happen? Democracy as well as independence of the judiciary, which whatever the laws or whatever the fundamental rights being violated. But this judiciary system is totally independent, and that's why legislature as well as the executive members, they cannot misuse their power. Independence of the judiciary also plays a crucial role in protecting the fundamental rights of the citizen, and hence what is happening, due to the independence of the judiciary plays a very important role in protecting fundamental rights of the citizens. So hence independent judiciary is very important to run functions as well as to provide justice to the common people, even common people, as well as it not allow to misuse of power by the legislature or executive. Now, what is the structure of courts in India? We have studied about judiciary, how independent judiciary work. But in the judiciary, there are the three tier of the courts, three tier. See, what is the structure of courts in India? There are especially the structure which is divided into three parts: district court, high court, and the Supreme Court. At the bottom, district court is there, district court. Then high court, it is also called as tehsil, taluka level. Then high court, all the states, they have their high court at the state level and the Supreme Court at the central level. This is the apex body of the in the judicial system. See, district court, the courts that most people interact with are called subordinate or district courts. See, district court, we used to say subordinate court, district court, or tehsil level court. Okay, so most probably people interact with called subordinate courts, district court, or tehsil level. Then high court. Each state has a high court which is at the highest court of the state. Suppose Maharashtra High Court, which is situated at Bombay, Mumbai. Then Supreme Court. Supreme Court is at the top level in the judicial system. The decisions made by the Supreme Court are binding on all other courts in India. It is located in New Delhi. See, Supreme Court, it is at the top level, apex level, and whatever decisions made by the Supreme Courts are binding on all courts in India, on all high courts as well as on all district courts. So here, this is the system is integrated judiciary system. Integrated judiciary system. These systems totally depend on one another. Means one court, means Supreme Court's decisions are binding on all courts in India. Means Supreme Court's decisions need to follow by all courts in India. So this is the structure, integrated judicial system. We have seen at the bottom level district court, then at the state level high court, and at the central level Supreme Court. See here, Indian judicial system, it is divided into three courts: subordinate courts, district court, then high court, and at the apex level Supreme Court. See, in the Indian judicial system comprises Supreme Court at the apex, followed by the high court in different states and the subordinate courts. Now, Indian judicial system is also called as integrated judicial system. Why it is integrated judicial system? Because Supreme Court's decisions are binding on all courts as well as the subordinate courts. Whatever decisions, if any person not happy, that person can appeal, can approach to the high court, and if again anyone, if they feel that they yet not get justice, then that person or that citizen can file the case in the Supreme Court. So in this way these courts are interlinked with each other. This is integrated judicial system. Now here see the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, which it's located at New Delhi. The Supreme Court which presided by the Chief Justice and other 30 judges. In the Supreme Court, one Chief Justice and also the panel of 30 judges, maximum of 30 other judges who comprises in the Supreme Court. Then after High Court. Each High Court in India has the jurisdiction of one or more state and union territory. As we know that 7 union territories are there and 29 states. In each states High Courts are there, but some of the states are there which they are having combined High Courts. See here the High Courts in India, especially in Maharashtra, we used to say, in Maharashtra, Mumbai High Court, as well as Goa, Dadra Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. These Dadra Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu union territories also. Mumbai is the High Court, as well as Goa State High Court is also located at Mumbai. Then like that way we can see eastern part of our country, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Nagaland and Mizoram. These 4 states High Court, which is Guwahati High Court. They share common High Court, Guwahati High Court. Like that way Punjab and Haryana High Court, which is Punjab, Haryana and Chandigarh. These states share the Punjab and Haryana High Court. Means Punjab and Haryana, these 2 states share common High Court, which is located at Chandigarh. So there are 24 High Courts in India, and 3 High Courts have control one or more than one state. Now see High Court. In the High Court also a Chief Justice and the other panel of judges. High Court consists of a Chief Justice and the other judges. High Court especially deals with the cases such as concerning the fundamental rights of citizens, election petitions and other civil and criminal cases. Suppose election petitions, civil and criminal cases, we will talk more about civil and criminal cases in the further slides. So these High Courts deal with the cases when the citizens they feel problems, as well as to run the system administration properly. For that reason also High Courts concern the various functions. Now up to here what we have studied, Indian judiciary. Indian judiciary comprises at Supreme Court at the apex, followed by High Courts and the different states and subordinate courts. Then judiciary is an independent organ. It is called as independent organ. It is separated from the legislature as well as executive body. The Supreme Court of India is located at New Delhi. It is comprises the Chief Justice and a maximum of 30 other judges. See, Supreme Court of India, which established in 1950, means first our Republic Day. From that day onwards Supreme Court functions started, and which is comprises Chief Justice of India and a maximum of 30 judges panel. Then the Supreme Court hears and gives rulings on both civil and criminal cases. Civil and criminal cases, as well as any person can approach to the Supreme Court when between the state matters are there. Suppose water distribution, such as Kaveri river water distribution. This was the issue between the two states. That time Supreme Court presides the duty to provide justice. Then each high court in India has the jurisdiction of one or more states and union territory. As we have studied about union territories such as Daman and Dadra Nagar Haveli, as well as Goa, this justice, the High Court in India jurisdictions, which is situated in Mumbai, Maharashtra. The High Court deals with the cases such as those concerning fundamental rights. If any person's fundamental rights are being violated, then the citizens' election petitions and civil and criminal cases deals by the High Courts. Now, this is what about Supreme Court, High Court and the lower court. In the content book, there is one story. In that story, found Lakshman and his mother guilty, but acquitted the brother-in-law. And see here, from the lower court we will start. Convicted Lakshman, his mother Shakuntala and his brother-in-law Subhash Chandra, and sentenced all three of them to death. See, there was one case in this. See, in the year 1980, Lakshman Kumar married to 20-year-old girl Sudha Goel, and they lived in Delhi. But what happened after the marriage? Just 2 months after, Sudha got died due to burns. Then what happened? Sudha's family filed a case against the Lakshman's family in the trial court. 4 of the neighbors, they also were called in as a witness. Then what happened? In the lower court, convicted Lakshman, his mother Shakuntala and his brother-in-law Subhash Chandra, means Lakshman's brother. All these three sentenced them to death by the lower court. So what the lower court gave the judgment? Against Lakshman, his mother Shakuntala and his brother. Okay. So then what happened? This Lakshman's family, they decided to reach at the High Court. Means this is what about appellate system. Means if the person is not happy with the lower court decision, they can approach to the High Court. Then this Lakshman and his family, they reached to High Court. In the High Court, decided that Sudha had died due to an accidental fire caused by the kerosene stove. What High Court gave the decisions? By the witness as well as other evidences, that High Court gave the decisions that Sudha had died due to an accidental fire caused by the kerosene, and in that manner Lakshman, Shakuntala and Subhash Chandra were acquitted. Acquitted means they got free, means the High Court released them. Then we studied in 7th standard that many women organizations such as Dowry Deaths, for that reason in 1990 many Domestic Violence Act passed in 2005. Then many women organizations, they worked in that manner, okay, to provide the justice to the women. So some of the women organization, they filed this case. They got deeply hurt by the High Court decisions that Lakshman and his family were acquitted. Then these women organization, they filed this complaint in the Supreme Court. Then in the Supreme Court, they found Lakshman and his mother guilty. Guilty means they did crime, but acquitted the brother-in-law Subhash because of lack of evidence. See, in the Supreme Court, by the hearing in the Supreme Court, what it found that Lakshman and his mother, they both were guilty, but there were no any evidences against brother-in-law Subhash. So that's why Subhash was acquitted, and the Lakshman and his mother gave life imprisonment to the convicted. So in that manner, this Supreme Court, lower court, and the Supreme Court, High Court and the lower court, they work together, and the system is called as appellate system. Appellate system is the person, if not happy with the lower court decision, they can reach to the High Court, and if the High Court decisions they not happy, or the judgment they feel that not up, according to their according to updated up to that much, then they can reach to the Supreme Court. So here is the Supreme Court. Supreme Court 19. Supreme Court, it was it is located at New Delhi Mathura Road, but before that there were in our country federal courts were there. 1937 to 1949 there was federal court in our country. Now in India, we have an integrated judicial system. We studied that, which means that the decisions made by higher courts are binding on the lower courts. Means this, according to this integrated judicial system, what is the integrated judicial system? That if Supreme Court, whatever judgment given by the Supreme Court, those are binding on the other lower courts. As we studied here, lower court gave, High Court acquitted to Lakshman's family, but Supreme Court gave them imprisonment. Okay, so this Supreme Court decision binding on the High Court as well as to the other courts. So here this is the system is recognized as integrated judicial system. Then the appellate system. What is appellate system? That also we studied. Appellate system exists in India, which means that a person can appeal to a high court if they believe that the judgment passed by the lower court is not just. So here see, when the women organization, they found that High Court gave the judgment, it was not just. So they reached to the Supreme Court. So here, if the person found that decision was not just, or decision, whatever decision made by the court, lower court or higher court, then they can encroach to the Supreme Court for the justice. This system is called as appellate system. Now here see, Supreme Court, High Court and district courts, especially they deals with criminal law as well as civil law, these functions. So these are the branches of the legal system. These are the legal system, judiciary system, and this legal system, they deals with the laws, criminal law and civil law. So these are the functions: criminal law, civil law. Criminal laws. Criminal law with conduct or acts that the law defines as offences. If any offence such as theft, harassing a woman, dowry, murder, so such type of cases were conducted by the in the criminal law. And civil law, which deals with any harm or injury to the rights of individuals, not physical harm or injury, but right of individuals. Example like dispute relating to sale of land related issues, purchase of goods, rent matters, divorce cases. Such matters dealt in the civil courts. It usually begins with the information with the lodging of a first information report with the police who investigate the crime, after which a case is filed in the court. Deeply we are going to study this FIR process in the next chapter. But here see, criminal law especially, this process begins with FIR. And here civil law, in this court a petition has to be filed. First of all, petition has to be filed before the relevant court by the affected party only. See, criminal law and the civil law. Criminal law dealt assault, theft, murder, dowry and harassment. So in the criminal court, dowry, harassment, murder, theft and assault, such type of cases deals. And in the civil court, land disputes such as distribution of land between the brothers, as well as sometimes land disputes occur between the neighbors. Then property deals, then divorce, then rent agreement. Such a type of cases deals in the civil court. Now see, it if found guilty, the accused can be sent to jail and also fined. In the criminal court, if if accused found guilty, then that accused sent to jail, and also sometimes maybe in the form of fines. The court gives the specific relief asked for. In the civil case or in the civil court, specific relief, specific sometimes in the form of money relief asked for. Now very important question, that does everyone have access to the court? Then the answer is yes, but there are some certain conditions or some certain actual things which matters, that accessing to the courts we will see. All citizens of India can access the court in this country. Every individual, every person, no matter the person is rich or poor, everybody can access the courts in this country. This means that every citizen has a right to justice through the courts. The courts are available for all, but in reality, access to the court has always been difficult for a vast majority of the poor in India. See what I said, that actual in the actual condition there is especially poor people, and poor especially vast majority which acquire by the poor people, vast majority of the people, they found very much difficulty, because court legal procedure which involve a lot of money require, lot of paperwork require, as well as great deal of time, tenure period if require, a huge period, lot of paperwork, lot of money, and cause of that poor, they found difficulty in accessing court for the justice. Here see, especially educated people, they can easily access to the court, but we can see here poor people, lot of money require, lot of paperwork require, as well as knowledge, but these poor people, they lack all these things, and hence the poor people, they remote from this access of the justice. In response to this, Supreme Court in the early 1980 devised a mechanism of public interest litigation, or PIL, to increase access to justice. Very important, this is public interest litigation. What is that? Is in the short form PIL. PIL in 1980 devised one of the mechanism. And what is mechanism? What is the structure of this mechanism? See here, it allowed any individual or organization, any individual person as well as any organization, to file a PIL in the High Court or the Supreme Court on behalf of those whose rights were being violated. If any person found that my rights, my fundamental rights, or any organization found that my rights are being violated, then that person can file complaint in the Supreme Court as well as in the High Court also. That is the PIL. See here, PIL, public interest litigation in the 1980, which is according to that, this mechanism, any individual or any organization can file complaint in the High Court or Supreme Court. And with the help of this PIL, midday system, midday meal, these poor people, and the needy children, as well as to increase the rate of school going children in the school premises. For that reason, this midday meal scheme, and it was also one of the success of this PIL system, public interest litigation. The phrase justice delayed is justice denied is often used to characterize extended time period that courts take. Courts procedure require lot of period. That's why what is happening, justice delayed, whatever the justice, that it prolonged, the system of the justice get prolonged 30 years, 40 years. And what is happened, the people, those who involved in the criminal offenses, sometimes they passed away, or sometimes the age at the age of their at the end period of their age, they get the punishment. So then justice if delayed, then it is like a justice denied. Hence, what we should do? However, in spite of this, there is no denying that the judiciary has played a crucial role in democratic India, serving as a check on the powers of the executive and the legislature, as well as in the protecting the fundamental rights of citizens. See here, this justice delayed is justice denied. Fast track courts, some of the high courts, or the people, they rose their voice about the particular case. It should be enrolled, or it should be comes in the fast track courts. So then the justice should be established for the particular offense. Then here see, in democratic India, we know that the judiciary play a crucial work, as well as the judiciary serve as a check on the power. Judiciary plays important work to check on the executive as well as legislature body, that those legislature are as well as executive body, those are protecting the fundamental rights of citizens or not, or whatever process which is made by the executive as well as legislatures, those are adhered to the constitution, which are not violating fundamental rights of citizens. So this, for this purpose, this Indian judicial system works as well as played crucial role. I hope you understood the session. Thank you. Have a nice day.